I first sensed a shift in Sandra a few months before the reunion was even brought up. It wasn't obvious at first, just subtle, nearly unnoticeable changes. She started staying later at work, coming home only to disappear into her phone like it was hiding a secret world, one she didn't want me to see. She'd sit right beside me on the couch, face glowing from the screen, fingers dancing quickly, smiling at something or someone that clearly wasn't me anymore. I brushed it off. Maybe just a group chat with friends or her way to relax. After a long day, everyone has their own distractions, right? So I let it pass. Then the reunion began slipping into our casual at first. "It's been 10 years, Danny," she said one evening while slicing vegetables. "Everyone's coming back. It'll be fun." I nodded, told her it sounded nice to reconnect. She smiled, but it felt distant, her mind already elsewhere. As the weeks rolled on, that reunion became her only topic. She bought new outfits, tried different hairstyles, even booked salon visits she usually skipped, not even bothering for our anniversary. One night at dinner, watching her glow as she spoke about some old classmate, I joked, "You're really going all out. Big night, huh?" She chuckled lightly. "I just want to look nice. It's been a while." I smiled too, but something about it didn't sit right. He asked if she'd like me to go with her. Her fork froze for the faintest moment. "It's just college friends. You'd be bored." The words cut deep, like she was saying my presence was a burden, not a comfort. I tried to shrug it off. Maybe she was wrapped in nostalgia, but inside, something tightened. The night of the reunion, she came down the stairs transformed. She wore a navy dress I'd never seen, makeup flawless, heels higher than usual. She was stunning, breathtaking. I let out a low whistle. "Wow, you look amazing." Didn't even glance at me. "Thanks," she murmured, adjusting her earring in the mirror. I asked again, gentler this time. "You sure you don't want me there?" Hesitated barely, but I caught it. "It's just old friends," she repeated, grabbing her clutch. "Honestly, you'd be bored." So I nodded, pretending it was fine. But the second the door closed, I took my keys and followed. She drove across town to a bar I knew well, parked nearby and waited. Didn't take long. She found him almost immediately. David, an old name from her college years, the one who never left. The way her face lit up told me everything. That smile, bright and giddy, wasn't mine anymore. They hugged, too close, too familiar. At the bar, they leaned in, laughing, touching her hand, resting on his arm like it belonged. After an hour they slipped outside. Followed quietly. Under a dim streetlight, he pulled her in and kissed her. Not a quick goodbye, but slow, deliberate, comfortable, rehearsed. This wasn't new. I raised my phone and snapped a few photos, steady, certain. When they finally pulled apart, still laughing, they climbed into his car and drove off. I stayed behind, watching his tail lights fade. I didn't feel rage, not even heartbreak, just clarity. Everything fit. The late nights, the secrecy, the phone. That mattered more than me. This wasn't the first time. It had been happening all along. I drove home in silence. No radio, no words, just the hum of the engine, and the image of her tangled with him burned into my mind. Walking through the door, nothing looked different. Her coat still hung by the entrance. The porch light still glowed. Yet the house already felt hollow, like she'd left long before. Tonight, I sat at the kitchen table, scrolling through the photos. Her face said it all. The way she leaned into him, the sparkle in her eyes, that kiss. Can overlook a lot. Texts, late nights, distractions, but not that. That kiss was truth. I didn't confront her. There was no she had already chosen. She just hadn't spoken it aloud. She stumbled in. At dawn, barefoot, makeup smudged hair. Mess. She didn't even notice me. Standing at the top of the stairs. Tossed her keys down, kicked off her heels and collapsed on the couch like there was nothing to answer for. I stood, watching a moment, then turned and went back upstairs. I wasn't sad. Wasn't angry. I was sure this marriage wasn't broken, it was finished. But I didn't leave right away. That would have been too easy. She needed to feel the weight of what she'd thrown away. Over the next few days, I quietly set things in motion. Found a small apartment across town. Modest but clean, untouched. I opened a new account, rerouted my paychecks, and prepared to walk away. Quiet, careful, unnoticed. Sandra carried on like nothing was different, still feeding me lies about late nights and girls' outings. Still smiling at whatever lit her screen. Had no clue I already knew. One night at dinner, sipping wine, half distracted by her phone between bites, I thought I spotted someone who looked like David the other day. I mentioned it casually while spearing a piece of chicken. Her shoulders tightened for a split second. David, she echoed, pretending confusion. Haven't seen him in forever. I only nodded and went back to eating. I didn't need her confession. I already had the truth. Dabbed my mouth with a napkin and asked lightly, wasn't he at the reunion? She shook her head too quickly. No, he wasn't there. I smiled faintly. Right, not the reunion. Just pressed against you in a parking lot last week. No shouting, no burst. I didn't push. I let the words linger, then moved on, giving her the illusion of safety a little longer. That weekend, while she went shopping, I packed what mattered. Clothes, papers, a few old photos. The rest I left. House no longer felt like home. Walls filled with echoes. Before I walked out, I slipped off my wedding band and set it beside her half-finished wine glass on the counter. No yelling, no drama, only silence, the kind that speaks loudest when you're done. That night when she came home, she noticed nothing at first. From my car, parked down the street, I watched her step out barefoot, heels in one hand, purse on her shoulder, laughing at her phone. She strolled inside, oblivious. Half a minute later, the porch light flared. The door swung open. She rushed out, scanning the yard as if I'd appear and forgive her on command. But not tonight. Not ever again. The calls started instantly. My cell, my work line, then my brother Christopher. I ignored every one, letting her wander through the half-empty house, realizing room by room that what she thought she owned was gone. Later, Christopher called. Want me to handle her? He asked, hearing her pounding on his door. I've got it, I told him. When I arrived, she was on his porch, arms wrapped around herself, mascara smeared, eyes swollen with tears. Danny, she pleaded, voice cracking. Please talk to me. I stood by my car. For a long moment. You lied, I said, evenly, again and again. And you thought I'd never notice. It was a mistake, she insisted. It didn't mean anything. I let out a hollow laugh. You kissed him. Like you were 17, climbed into his car and disappeared with him. Not a mistake, Sandra. That's a choice. Tears streamed down her face. I love you, she whispered. No, I told her coldly. You loved the version of me who still believed you. She grabbed my jacket, desperate. Pulled free. You lost, I said calmly. You just didn't realize it until too late. I got back in my car, leaving her under the porch light, alone, exactly where she belonged. My new place wasn't fancy. Second floor. Quiet, a decent view. But it was mine. No ghosts, no history. The next morning, I mailed the divorce papers. No need for scene. None expected. Sandra tried. Everything, calls, texts showing up at Christopher's again. My answer stayed the same. Silence. Paperwork moved fast. No messy fights about money or property. I could keep the house, the furniture, the smiling photos. All I wanted was peace. 2 weeks later, Mark, an old friend who kept neutral, called. You heard about Sandra? No, I said. She's falling apart, he told me. Not working, barely getting out of bed. I said nothing. What was there to say? She struck the match herself. I only let the fire take what it wanted. Days later, the signed divorce papers arrived. Her name scrawled at the bottom, shaky, drained of strength. Whoa. Note, no plea, just an end. Quiet final. Friends checked in. Christopher asked often how I was holding up. But I wasn't unraveling. I wasn't bitter. For the first time in years, I felt light. Sandra stayed trapped. Big house empty. Closets, wine-stained carpet, a kingdom of regret. Mark said she tried dating. But nothing lasted. Probably because it was never about finding someone new. Was about losing the one who gave her everything. I didn't crave revenge. I didn't need closure. Her life became its own consequence. Every morning she woke in that house built for two. She felt it. Sometimes I sat on my balcony with a beer, watching the sunrise pour across the city, thinking of the man I used to be. The one who stayed up late hoping love could outrun betrayal. He didn't hate that man. He just hadn't learned. Sometimes you have to lose the wrong person to discover your own worth. Sandra's greatest mistake wasn't the kiss, the car ride, or the lies. It was believing I'd still be waiting when she crawled back. But I wasn't. And for the first time in forever, I was awake. Already gone.